How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined with Mega Roller 31. We are breaking down Las Vegas for the Xfinity Series today. Mega, how are you this morning? And how was your truck race experience?
Well, I was winning like $400 until the green white checker, and then Hunter Nemechek wrecked, and some other people, and some people that we never thought would do like really well actually did. So it kudos to those who played some people, but the process was right, and we'll stick to it, and hopefully we'll win some of it back today with Xfinity.
Yeah.
Bankroll management.
Yep. I was gonna say we're expecting a different kind of race today. Last night, cooler conditions in the night. The track surface changed, and not a lot of the guys that we were on seemed to do well, like you alluded to. So anyway, we're moving on to the Xfinity Series. We're going to be breaking this down driver by driver as best we can. Mega, kick us off here. We got AJ Allmendinger on his second pole of the season. What are your thoughts on the colleague 16?
He could get out there early and lead a lot of laps, and he's won this race before, so I think he's definitely a good cash play. I think before we get too much into the picks, you're going to see like reds and yellows on names here. This was treated as like a double header, so basically after Auto Club they had to put their cars in a hauler. They were sealed with tape, and if you broke the tape, then you got to start at the back of the field. So the guys in red wrecked at Auto Club, so they had potential damage to their cars and maybe in a backup. The guys in yellow might have had a little bit of an issue, or they had to make a mechanical adjustment to their car, and they had to do it before Thursday, so they all have to go to the back. So basically, if you look at Jesse Inua here, who's starting 37th, he's really starting in the 24th position. He's getting scored at 37, but he's actually progressing 13 places because of all these guys that have to start in the back, and that's providing nobody else gets sent back to the back.
Okay. Yeah, that's a headache.
Yeah. So you have Joey Gase like in the 23rd position currently, like when the race starts. Now they're not scored from there. It just gives them a little bit of track position. Can they hold it is the question. And maybe there's a catastrophe in the back, and all these other guys that start back there get knocked out, and then they become optimal place. So I don't know, but this is going to be a Dominator track. I believe there's like 200 laps here, so we're going to need to look for people that's going to lead early, and then who can come up and get some place differential and maybe dominate also, and who are some values.
200 laps.
Yeah, so I definitely Allmendinger could get it out there, but I really like the guy behind him. Josh Berry dominated here last year. He really figured out how to run this low groove. Not many other people were able to do that, and this race was like a 1-2-3 finish. It was Berry, and then I think it was Allgaier Grayson, or Grayson Allgaier. So these this team has really figured out this track, and look from yesterday in qualifying and stuff that they're still pretty much there. But then third you have Riley Herbst starting for Stuart Haas. I'm listing him as a fade because he qualified okay up here, but I think he falls back a little bit. I don't think I see him as one that's going to dominate this race.
No, I think Hurst is starting way too far forward here.
Right.
There is like the off chance that he does. I mean, heck, we saw that in trucks. We weren't really expecting that multiple leader kind of outcome that we saw, and we were expecting like Kyle Busch or John Hunter Nemechek to just kind of take over, but we saw multiple leaders, and I'm sure we could see that tomorrow or today. I just don't think Riley Herbst is one of them. 8,800's a little too high for that starting position. I'm like you. I like Berry over Allmendinger. Allmendinger not really dominating races. He's qualifying super well this year, calling dominating pole positions. But their long run speed, not there. And I think Josh Berry in Junior Motorsports is the play here for Dominators. I like Josh Berry, and I like Noah Gragson. The fastest in 10 lap averages. I think he's going to be chalk, and I think it's good chalk. He's going to be the way I start my lineups. Today at 10-8.
Yeah, and I just listed him as cash because I felt really strongly about Barry and the price point. I didn't want to list any of these 10K guys that are going to be potentially chalky. I want you to
Right.
make your own decision between, do I pick Allmendinger? Do I pick Grayson? Further on down
Yeah.
the road, you're going to see like Ty Gibbs at 11, who's the most expensive guy, and has some
Mhm.
place differential. So I think they're all great cash plays. You're just going to have to figure out who's your dominator of choice. The next
Agreed.
guy, Landon Castle, is not going to be it. I think he's a
No,
fade.
too far forward.
Yeah, he wrecked his car last week. Rumor is his car caught on fire, and they had to like
Yep.
take it back to the shop and fix it and stuff. So we don't know, and he's got to start from the back. So
Yeah. That's a total fade for me as well. 9K as well. No thanks. Just
Hemrick,
nope.
Hemrick, on the other hand, could be a GPP play. He might be able to get up there and
Sure.
lead some laps, but I don't think this colleague program is as strong as the JR Motorsports one. So,
He was second in lap averages too in practice.
Yeah.
I think Hemrick's a decent play.
Okay.
Sixth, I mean, GPP for sure,
Yeah.
because 9.9 is a lot. He's not in the 18 like he was last year. So this is a totally different setup. And GPP, if you're running multiple 150 max or something, sprinkle in some Hemrick.
Now, speaking of the 18, Ryan Truex jumps into the Gibbs All-Star car for this year.
Sure.
And it looks like, he had some speed and is doing well in this, but I think it's still a GPP because we're not 100% sure on this one.
Yeah. A little too far forward for my liking, but he is a really good, strong car. He's, a veteran, has a lot of experience. 8,500 is not a terrible price tag to take a gamble, but you are gambling when you take 18 this far, or Ryan Truex this far forward.
So now we have two guys also that are GPP, same price range. We have Sheldon Creed from Richard Childress Racing. He wrecked his car. He'll be starting towards the back, so it's going to be a climb, but he's a dark horse here. Would he be surprised if he could get back up in the top 5 and lead some laps? No, because he did it in truck, and it doesn't look like Xfinity like scares him at all. It looks like it was a very smooth transition. Sam Mayer, on the other hand, this is his second full year in yeah.
I mean,
he's in a he's in a car that has had the team that has success here, but still I want to see a little bit before I play him in cash. So he's a GPP for me.
This is a fade for me, actually. Too far forward. I didn't see a lot of good practice time from him. I mean, I like Junior Motorsports here, but
my model has him dropping to 16th as a finish.
Yeah, so. I just don't think it pays off here. I'd rather take a shot at Sheldon Creed or even maybe Ryan Truex. So I'm out.
Fair enough. John Hunter Nemechek comes up from the Cup in Sant Hunt Racing. It's a decent car here. It's a Joe Gibbs light car, actually. So I think that he's going to be very chalky, and there's some place differential. And even though he wrecked out at the end, he did lead some laps. Not as many as we thought he would, but he did win the pole in trucks. So I think there's definitely a cash play
price
here.
Tag.
Yeah.
Love the price tag of 9,200. I think people are going to be so pissed off if they play the truck series that he racked them out and they were winning so much money. I think he sets up well for, he might be chalk. He also might be lower ownership because of last night. So we'll see how that shakes out, but I like him at 9,200. Gregson Nemechek is probably a really strong way to start a cash lineup.
Right. I think Gibbs is going to be super popular simply because of the success that he has had last year and the place differential, but I'm going to be underweight.
Too much.
Yeah, I'm going to be underweight on him. Yeah, I would. If he wins, he wins it. Good for you that played him.
I want to say something real quick. I think we're going to be on the same page here with Ty Gibbs. He's so bad at qualifying, but he has his car is always built for the long run. Ty Gibbs is going to lead some races. He's going to lead laps. He's going to be good on road courses. But anytime I see him starting like back further than 10, I'm still not paying 11K, hoping that he gets all those place differential points and leads laps over, 5 or 6 cars that are probably faster. it's always going to be a fade to low ownership for me. And then yeah, when he burns me, it's going to be because he dominated a race from starting 13th. If he does that, then I'm okay with taking the loss, I guess.
So let's just skip ahead here because you have Justin Allgaier, who's $600 cheaper, and I have him listed as a prime play. He's starting 16th. He has showed that he could lead laps here. He has shown he's a known commodity. I am going to definitely play Allgaier at 10. I think he's where I'm going to start for my second Dominator. I'm probably going to start with Barry up top and then go Allgaier as my second one. See if I can fit Grayson or another one in with value. If not, that's where I'm looking to start my lineups. So in between them, you had Brett Moffitt, who I think, and Jeremy Clement. They're GPP plays. Buford. Yeah, I think Buford.
You have Buford as a fade. I have him as a GPP play in mind.
I just think I don't know if he can finish where he started.
I think it's worth a gamble because of the 6K price tag. I don't mind him in GPP formats.
Okay, I'm gonna keep him as fade. Austin Hill, like he's got to go to the back again. Can he get up there too? I think Creed's definitely a little bit riskier. Austin Hill's a little bit safer here with the starting position because if it doesn't happen, you don't lose as much place differential. But I think, this is just a range of GPP like fill-ins. If last guy into your lineup, pretty much. If you need somebody in that range and that guy fits, then that's fine. Alex Labbe, I think this is not his style, of course, even though he qualified decent here. I think he drops into, my model has him finishing 22nd. I think he's starting a little too far forward. So he's a fade. He's not as fast as Buford. And I get your point there. If you're faced with 6,400 left, you're definitely going to probably want to take Jay Buford.
Over Labbe.
Or maybe Kyle Siegs, who's a little bit down further. But I think, the quality of the car that we've seen is definitely better for Buford. So now we're kind of ending up into
here we go with 18 through 25.
Brandon Brown, I think can be a cash because he can finish like where he started. He's okay. I know he had a little bit of mechanical work he had to do on the car. He has to start from the back, but I think he can work his way back up. Matt Mills, I think, is
this 5 car looks okay. Qualified all right. Practice
I like the price.
terrible.
I think
it was 16th in lap average from what I saw in practice. VJ McLeod has reduced the size of their team from 600 cars down to like the 5.
Right.
78 didn't even qualify. Steven Parsons is going to probably be a tail runner by the end of this race. So I like the 5. I think, he's starting a little too far forward, but 5,100. I mean, you couldn't do worse.
Right.
He's super cheap. If you wanted to fit multiple 10K drivers, I don't think Mills is a crazy idea.
True. Very, very true. And I think, people might land on him like they did in the truck series build. And I think he's fine. And he didn't do bad in trucks either. So he's got some experience running this. Ryan Sieg, I think, is going to be very, very popular. This is probably a top 15 car. I'll be on board. He's not starting towards the back. So he's starting 20th, but he's really going to have already 6 place differential points built in. He's going to be starting 14th with Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones, I think this guy is going to be super chalky just because of how bad he qualified. But this is a backup car. He really has not started the season great. I think it's too risky. I am going to be so underweight on him if I'm not fading him here.
I'm going to be in on John Hunter Nemechek over Brandon Jones. I will have more of that than I will Jones.
Joe Graff in this Stuart Haas race car starting at 52. I think that this is definitely a decent cash play. Also, maybe starting a little too far forward, but I think he's one that can finish where he started. So I think he's good. And Kaz Gralla ran the truck race and did well last night. Alpha Prime Racing
had engine issues, but you'll have that.
So I think he's okay there for a cash play. I think it'll be pretty low owned. He might be a little bit sneaky.
Yeah,
Might not fit your build. So if you're going
right. The
balanced,
cash, the salary is not what I want to see. I
yeah,
want him
pretty
in the
much have
6K
GPP.
range.
Yeah.
He's just I don't see an upside here at 7,300. I struggle with that.
Kyle Sieg is
I'd rather play Sieg here than
yeah,
Kaz
yeah,
Grala in this spot.
yeah.
Because
Again,
of the price differential.
yeah, so if it comes down to LeBeg, like Kyle Sieg or Jay Buford, you're looking at place differential for Sieg, but we don't know. He might fall down, but he has a non-damaged car, so that's something to look at also, where Jay Buford is going to the back and has to go forward and starting at 14th. So maybe that's more why I put him as a fade. Next up, we have Anthony Alfredo, who I love this play here. I know it's a little expensive. It might not fit in your cash build, but
I think it's a strong value play at 7.
he has an average finish in the first 2 races of 6th, and he looked good in qualifying. I have him finishing 12th, so a top 15 here, not a damaged car. So is naturally going to move up already to 4, 6, 7 positions. So he's really going to have place differential wise, he's going to be like 18th to start the race. So
all right, so real quick, I wanted to say we'll just talk about Alfredo and Jeb Burton together because they're similar in price. One guy is going to be higher owned than the other, and I like Anthony Alfredo more because Jeb Burton's team has had a lot of issues underneath that car. They spun out twice in practice on like 3 laps. Yes. So this car's only made 3 laps. It's already got back end damage. They got a I don't know, some kind of like track bar thing rubbing against their tires. They've blown 2 tires already. I think they're like the redheaded stepchild of the team going to 3 cars. So I think chalk Burton is bad chalk, and I like Alfredo a heck of a lot more.
And I get the play for, and I haven't listed as cash for Burton, but I really think I'll put him probably in a GPP lineup in case he does.
Yes,
they do figure out if you well, but I think it's way too risky for that price to get the place differential. So I'm not looking at that one. Okay, so back to where we're Kyle Weatherman. I think he's a GPP. He's better definitely at road courses than this. So I'm not really
victim of qualifying too high, maybe.
Yeah. Barely Curly, this 4 car was very solid last year with Castle in it. And even though he's got to
love this car.
Yeah, he's not going back that far. 5,700. I think he's one of the best values, especially if you look at 4 guys in the same range here. Vargas and Parsons are in backup cars or damaged cars. So Vargas, I'm fading. Parsons, maybe it's a GPP, but I think that's a fade too. And even JJ Yaley,
even on Curry. Yeah. Curry's a cash play for me.
JJ Yaley, I'm out on him. He's just way too expensive here.
Too far forward. No thanks.
Right. Then if you look at some of the other ones here, they keep on going. Like CJ McLaughlin, I think could be a cash play. The Ryan C cars are decent. I think he can move up because he doesn't have a damaged car, so he moves up naturally anyways.
He might start where he might finish where he started. And I guess at 4,600, you could do worse if you have like a super amount of like 10K drivers, you know?
Right.
I don't know.
So Mason Massey, I think the jury's still on him, GPP, but I don't hate the play. Brandon Poole, I think he's going to be a little like disappointed from yesterday. He qualified in the truck race, but then he got bumped from Matt Jaskell because the glory of God for racing is running 2 trucks. Jaskell's running the full year. Poole and other people are just filling in. So it made sense for the guy that's running for driver's points to get the ride. So he didn't get the race. This Mike Harmon car, a little bit questionable, didn't look great, but I think just the tail end of the driver, he can move up 9 or 10 spots ceiling wise. So I think definitely, he's a cash play and could be a 5X value. Myatt Snyder in the Jordan Anderson car, I think he can move up 7 spots too, especially with having a clean car and not having to go to the back. And we don't know with like all these cars that had to like do mechanical work and stuff, if they're going to be sound, they could break down out of this group of like 13 cars that are moving to the back. I say at least half dozen of them have mechanical issues and end up like finishing in the 30s. So I think that definitely helps. Myatt Snyder is a good driver. 800 or 8,000. I'd rather play Alfredo, but if you're going with some kind of balanced lineup, I think, he really helps you there.
Yeah, I like Snyder over Burton. in this price range.
Yeah.
Just because I have a feeling Snyder with the cleaner car. I mean, I know it's Jordan Anderson, but I still feel like their upside is higher. He has a better potential to finish inside that top 25 from the starting spot, and that's what I'm looking to see. And Burton, as I mentioned before, has a lot of issues going on.
Right.
It just might be a miserable weekend for that whole team. So be very cautious with that chalk. It could be a real bust today.
Ryan Ellis, think he's a GPP. He's driving Tommy Joe Martin's car, which if it was Tommy Joe Martin in here, I think we'd really like him. But I think 65, the price is a little bit high,
too expensive.
But if you land on him, if you land like 66 left, I would take him over JJ Yaley. I would take him over LeBay. I would take him over Kyle Sieg. So definitely the better play there with the place differential. He didn't wreck his car. I think there were like some mechanical things they had to figure out on it, but I don't think it was anything major. The last three, I think we already talked about Jed Burton, but Joey Gase, I think, and Jesse Enua are cash plays simply because they move up 13 places to start the race. And Emerald Gase is a decent upstart one. And Jesse has been very slow. And I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually falls to the back. But I think if he can hang on long enough through attrition, you're at 4,900. If you're trying to play a lot of these cars, he is the cheapest guy. I like him over McLaughlin. Poole maybe is the better driver, so I think I'm okay with that. But I don't know. I think the cars are similar, so interesting. But I think if you need somebody as a punt, like Inua is not going to be. He's going to be low owned, but I think he's fine. So I think that pretty much breaks it down. So you just got to figure out what Dominator you want. Who do you think from the middle? Is Nemechek, Gibbs, or Allgaier is going to move up and be like the second wave of Dominator? And then who are these guys in the back value-wise do you trust for their cars to make it through the race?
Yeah. All right. Awesome stuff, Mega. Thank you as always. You can like our video, comment below with any questions you may have. Guys, you can find us in a Discord chat. You can find that on our website, fsidfs.com. That link is also on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS. A lot more information to be said. And, if you guys want, join that Discord channel, will be available throughout the day. And so thank you again. You can follow me on Twitter at TKNation47. That is at MegaRoller31. Good luck today in your Xfinity contests, and hope to see you in the Discord chat. And stay tuned for a cup video coming out later this evening. All right, guys, take care.
If you want to know more about Xfinity, we did a season preview also, so check that out on our channel.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, thank you very much and have a great day.